Hey, how's it going, guys? Back for another video, and today we're going to talk about the game today, Burnley versus Fulham, and it's not really on the game, it's just talking about Fulham. Fulham have been relegated from the English Premier League for the second time in 4 seasons. After they've been relegated, came straight back up 2 years in a row, and I really thought Fulham were going to stay up. I did. I said it a couple months ago. I said Scott Parker's a phenomenal manager. I still believe he's a phenomenal manager. They had a very good young squad. I think they lacked in a lot of key areas. Fulham really didn't show the toughness, the mental strength late in games to stay in it. The game that really cuts it for me and reminds me here is Arsenal. Or somehow Arsenal had seven added minutes on the clock and they scored in the sixth and a half. If you're a team fighting for relegation, you gotta be tough. You gotta be mentally ready. You gotta be mentally strong. And to give up a goal in the 96th minute, that was when they really hit their run and hit their form, and they were picking up some points. And after that, the result, it kind of just slid away from them, I felt. And after that, it kind of just really dropped off. And Newcastle, for some reason, just Joe Willock really stepped it up, and you had Alan Saint-Maximin, and now you had Callum Wilson come back. And Newcastle just hit form once Wilson's coming back, and Willock's hit form. And which really ended it for Fulham, because I thought if any team was going down, it would be Newcastle. But I always thought Fulham were staying up, and sadly, I am wrong. I would have loved to see Fulham up. Great heritage in football, as Josie would say, football heritage. But Fulham's a fantastic club. I love going to Craven Cottage. If you get to see a game there, it's fantastic. But unfortunately, Fulham will be in the championship next year. Personally, I'm gonna have to say I believe they'll be back straight up next year, and they'll be in the Premier League for 3 times in the last 5 years. Yeah, I think they're gonna make straight back up. They have the quality of players. Look at Mitrovic. He's gonna, like people are saying, he's gonna go back. He's gonna stat pat. I think he's gonna do exactly the same he did last time they're in the championship last year. He's still a great striker, but he's not good enough for Premier League level unless you want to play Route One football like Big Sam does or Sean Dyche does. Under Scott Parker's side, you're not gonna be able to cut it. But I think Scott Parker, if he wanted to leave his club, Fulham, I think he very well could. I think there's a lot of teams that could be looking out for his name, that could be wanting a manager like Scott Parker. Maybe Arsenal, he could get the Arsenal job. He could be getting another higher end job like that because I think he plays a very nice, attractive style of football. Scott Parker is even against that Man City game, I'll preach that all the time. Pep Guardiola praised him before the game, praised him after the game, saying even though they were losing, Scott Parker still praised his team on passing out of the back, keep on passing out of the back, and they kept doing that, and it still looked very well. Even though they lost 3-0 to Man City in that game, he's still consistent on passing out of the back, and it was beautiful. And the attacking football he did play was fantastic. And I think if Scott Parker had the players at his capability, if he had the likes of Manchester United at his hands, Arsenal at his hands, that's why I think if he takes the Arsenal job, he's set. I think he's going to do, if he got the Arsenal job, I think he'd do a better job than Mikel Arteta did right now. I mean, I'm probably the minority who would definitely say that, but Mikel Arteta looks crap right now. He looks terrible as a manager. He doesn't have the man management skills. Sometimes tactically he's there, but I don't see it in Mikel Arteta. And from watching Scott Parker, yes, you could say he's been terrible. You could say yes, he's got them relegated, but they didn't have the minerals to stay up anyways. I'm gonna say it myself. They had some very good players. Zambo Anguissa, he's gonna move on. Personally, I think he's gonna leave. He could definitely do a step up and go play for a better club. He's a fantastic midfielder, as all Fulham fans will tell you in the comments, or they'll just tell you anywhere you see them. But they got a fantastic team. I don't see a reason why Fulham ain't coming back up. Maybe Scott Parker leaves them. Like I'm saying here, he goes to Arsenal, he goes to another team, leaves them, and they struggle finding another manager, and they're kind of stuck down there for a while. But I still think this group of players is going to come straight back up. I feel like you really don't have to worry here, Fulham fans, because you're fine. You might say, oh, we're worried we're going back down. I think you're fine. I think you don't really need to invest anymore once you go in the championship. I think you're going to have a good enough team once you get in the championship. Mitrovic is a fantastic striker. Ademola Lookman. You got Loftus-Cheek leaving on loan. You got Joachim Anderson leaving on loan. You got Alphonse Areola leaving on loan. Maybe some of those guys will want to stay, but I highly doubt that. You got Anderson going back to Lyon. Areola going back to Paris Saint-Germain. You got Loftus-Cheek going back to Chelsea, which I don't see him staying, unfortunately for Fulham fans. But and then you got Zambo Anguissa, who I think will leave. But you still got a good enough core there. You got Harrison Reed, who's going to step up. He's a fantastic player, I have to say. He's going to step into that role of Zambo Anguissa, fill it perfectly well. And you just need to maybe pick up one or two more players, and I think you're going to come right back up. I think you're going to see Fulham And I don't know who else is going to be down there next year. I'm not going to bank on anyone else because I can't bank on West Brom at all. And I don't know what you're going to see out of Sheffield United. And I'm going to make separate videos for both those teams on a different day. But I can't bank on both those teams coming straight back up like I can with Fulham. I think Fulham's coming straight back up. I think Scott Parker or not, you're coming straight back up with like the players you have. Scott Parker's by far, for me, one of the best British managers out there right now. And I'm including the guys from Northern Ireland, Ireland, Wales, such on, Scotland. And I think you're going Brendan Rodgers and then Scott Parker. He's fantastic. I don't see why people can criticize him. I just don't think he have the team like I say. But like if you look at the record this year, 5-12-18, 27 points. And at home, they were just abysmal. They were 2-4-12 at home with only 10 points. And away from home, they had 17 points, 3-8-6, which is way more respectable. 17 points away from home, that's fantastic for a newly promoted side. You'd say that's a building ground or the building blocks to stay in the league. But to struggle that hard at home and only have 2 wins and 4 draws, you're really not building anything there. If you can have that that good of an away record for coming up for your first season, that's fantastic from Scott Parker. But if you're looking at that home record, it's been terrible. I think the one thing that I've said that has affected Sheffield United is no fans. I think that's the reason why Sheffield United did so well previous year. And I think if you had fans at the Craven Cottage yelling at you all day, all 90 minutes, I think it boosts you and you get over the line for a couple more of those games. You earn a point or you can finish a game off and you can come back in some games. And I think they really miss those fans at Craven Cottage. And I think next year you'll see the fans back. You'll see everyone vaccinated. I think you'll see a different Fulham. I think you really will see a different Fulham at home. They'll turn those 2 wins into 10. And they got a fantastic side, Fulham. And I don't see them staying in the championship for too long. And if they come back up, they just need to invest well because they really didn't invest well, if you're asking me. You got some terrible investments, I think. I think they spent at too many positions I can't remember the team who did it before, but too many investments. And you got to make sure they're the right buys. Leeds are the only team who got promoted to stay up. I'll make a separate video on them for a team review. But the buys Leeds made, Rodrigo, Koch, and Rafinha were brilliant. It's positions they needed, fits the system. And Fulham kind of just went out there and splashed the cash and kind of brought in a lot of loanees, brought in a lot of signings, and some of them didn't really make sense. And I'm hoping that when they do come back to the Prem, that's smart, sophisticated signings that tactically fit what the manager wants. Because I feel like Scott Parker didn't want all of these players. And some of them really panned out. I think Alphonse Areola was a fantastic player, and he did very well, and hopefully he can eventually get into that France side and hopefully be there for the Euros this year. Guys, my prediction is Scott Parker stays. I'd love to see him go coach a better team, but I got him staying with Fulham, his home team, for another year. Bringing you guys back up. I can see you guys not next year. You're in the championship next year, but the year after, 2023, you guys will be back up in the Premier League. That is my prediction. I'm sorry to see that Fulham is relegated. I was hoping you guys would stay up. A lot of football heritage there. But those are my thoughts on you guys getting relegated. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I can't wait to see what you guys think. See you for now, guys.